if you're seriously studying Mormonism, you have to read the Book of Mormon, the Pearl of Great Price, Doctrines and Covenants, the books that the Mormons hold to. And obviously, if you're going to put your faith in Jesus Christ, you're going to have to read the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And you're going to have to ask yourself, does the lifestyle of Christ demand my respect, or was he a warped hypocrite? Secondly, do the ethical teachings of Christ make sense, or are they nonsensical? Thirdly, how did he die? Fourthly, did he rise from the dead or did he not? Now, if Jesus lived a sinless life, if he taught amazing ethical teachings, Robert Coles, psychology professor at Harvard, once wrote that all the teachings on ethics are simply footnotes to the Sermon on the Mount. Obviously, Robert Coles has quite a bit of respect for the ethical teachings of Christ. Thirdly, when you watch Christ bleed and die on a cross, instead of cursing his enemies, he prays, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." And that demands respect. At least it certainly demands respect from me. But fourthly, and most importantly, 3 days after he died, he rises from the dead, and over a period of 40 days, he appears to over 500 people who see him risen from the dead. Folks, it's a no-brainer. You can trust Jesus Christ. He is far more reliable than any of the options.
Well, Mormonism say that all that did happen, but there's something more to it.
Yes.
All right?
But when you study Mormonism, what you're going to find out is, as man is, God once was. As God is, man can become. Let me say it one more time for you. When you study Mormonism, what you begin to realize is, as man is, God once was. As God is, man may become. In other words, right at the heart of Mormonism, there's a fundamental contradiction with the Bible, with Christ. The Bible insists that God is the eternal spiritual being who is the creator of human life. God was never a man. God is the eternal, supreme, supernatural being. And guess what? I am never going to become God. And when you study Mormonism, what you begin to understand is Mormonism teaches that God was once a human being who eventually worked his way to deity, and you and I as human beings, if we play our cards right, can one day be God. Well, I'm sorry. That is a fundamental contradiction of Genesis through Revelation, which teaches God is eternal. God was not once a human being who worked his way up the ladder and eventually became deity. God is the eternal creator, and you and I can go to heaven and live eternity with God, but no, I'm never going to be God, and you're never going to be God. We're human beings, we're creatures, we're not the creator. So you've got a fundamental contradiction regarding the nature of God and the nature of man when you look at Mormonism versus the Bible.